Hey y'all, it's your girl Jazz, and welcome back to my channel.
Tell me what you see in me.
So we're gonna be doing a reading wrap up for June and July. June I read 3 books. July I read technically 12, but I'm only gonna count 11, and you'll see why. Drink of the day, nothing fancy, but we're drinking Fairlife protein because the girl needs her gains. So we're gonna start off with June 1st. The month of June was dedicated to one series, and it was the one and only, the Period series by Rebecca Yarros. I ate this up. Do you hear me? June was the second month in my reading journey, and I would say I started it off a little too strong because this series ruined all other books for me. But we'll talk about that when we get to July. So the first book up was Fourth Wing. This is the first book of this series. This is following Violet as she goes through the writer's quadrant. She's supposed to be a scribe, but her mom made her go to the writer's quadrant. This shows her trials and tribulations, and we also get introduced to the one and only Shadow Daddy, Xaden. So this follows that. I'm trying to explain this series without giving any spoilers, which is very hard, if I do say so myself. So second book was Iron Flame. I do have one that has dragons at the sprayed edge. This one is still following Violet and Xaden and all their friends through trials and tribulations. And there's a fat plot twist at the end. Oh my word. I was not okay. And then last up, Onyx Storm. Onyx Storm. I get why it's called this, Onyx Storm, but you won't know until the end of the book, basically. So this is still following Violet's and Xaden's story, but I feel like this one we're seeing more of their friends and everybody else. Like one person, one of Violet's friends, gets a whole chapter to herself. I believe that's in Onyx Storm and not Iron. Yeah, it's in here. And the plot twist, I know I said the plot twist at the end of Iron Flame was crazy, but the plot twist at the end of Onyx Storm sent me, because what happened? I also started annotating. There's this lone yellow little tab, but I did start annotating when I got to the last book, of course. So I can't really tell y'all any of my favorite quotes besides the one from Onyx Storm. It says, "He's my cousin." Xaden replies, locking eyes with me. "Of course he's exceptional." Just like you, but without the arrogance. I cock my head to the side. Maybe I feel for the wrong one. And then Xaden says, "It would be a shame to kill my last living relative." So that was basically the banter between him and Violet. I loved it so freaking much. I can't wait for this series to be complete. And even the novella that's coming out. I think it's Threshing Day, and that's supposed to come out in September. I will be reading that immediately, just so you know. I gave all 3 of these books 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. This is going to be one of my God tier series. I think it's just about everyone's God tier series. If it's not yours, I'm sorry. I can't help you. If you're in a reading slump, anything, read these. Now, warning. These books are amazing. So once you're done with them, you may feel like, what do you do now? Which is how I felt. And speaking of that, that's a great transition to go over the books that we read in July. So starting off strong, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. I DNF'd it. This is everybody's God tier series, and I felt so bad DNFing it. I'm going to have to come back to it. The mistake I made was reading this right after the Empyrean series. And they are not the same thing. They are not on the same level. I really think I should have read like ACOTAR first and then went to the Empyrean series. The first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, takes forever for something to happen. Everybody was saying, oh, you have to wait till like 60-70% through the book. My attention span is not that big. Yeah, so I DNF at like 20%. I'm so sorry. I will revisit it. I will. Technically, did I give this one a fair shot? No. Put your pitchforks away. Okay. We'll revisit her. After I DNF A Court of Throne of Roses, I went to the Sinner Anonymous series by Som Sketcher. So I only read 3 of the books. There are 4. The 4th one is called Sinners Atone, but that's a part 1, and there's supposed to be a part 2 coming out. And I didn't want to read nothing that wasn't complete. I'll read those 2 books whenever the second one comes out. All the series are following brothers. So the first one is called Sinners Anonymous, and it follows Rory and Angelo, which is also known as Visconti. This is a mafia romance. I wouldn't really call it a dark mafia romance, but definitely a mafia romance. Basically, Rory is supposed to get married to his uncle. Obviously, she doesn't, but this book was really, really good. I rated it 4 stars. I do have a few quotes in here that I'm going to read to you. So one of my favorite quotes is from one of Vicious's brothers. It says, "I slit a bastard's throat last week. He made the same exact noise." They were at a funeral, people were crying, and this is what he said. So there's this scene that they're all at dinner, and Vicious asks Rory to stand up because the dude next to her is messing with her. And he says, "Perfect. Now take 3 steps to the left." And he shot him. He shot him. He shot him. That sent me, oh my word. And then obviously they're starting to fall for each other, right? Angelo goes, "You kiss my uncle with that mouth?" Rory says, "Unfortunately, we love a sarcastic queen." The last little quote I'm going to give you, just so it's not really spoiling anything for you. It says, "F Aurora. When he turns around, his eyes are wild, hungry. You're my uncle's fiance. I can't touch you." And she says, "Who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself?" This was good. Now, the second and the third books, so it's Sinners Condemned and then Sinners Consumed. These 2 books are following Rafe and Penny. These 2 books were my favorite. Oh my goodness. I believe I rated both of these 4 stars too. Let me not lie. Oh, good plug. So you can follow me on Goodreads or Fables at these handles. And I'll also leave a link in my description. So Penny used to live in Devil's Dip. She moved away because her parents died. They were killed. So later on, she ended up moving away. She caused trouble. I'm not going to say what it is, but she caused trouble at the city that she moved to, and she moved back to Devil's Dip. And these books are talking about her and Rafe's story and how they basically become a couple. Love this. I love the banter between the 2. I love the dynamic. It's cute to see a hard person fall and they turn soft just for one person. This was my introduction to mafia romance, and your girl's a fan. Your girl's a huge fan. Next, after that, I need a palate cleanser, so I read In Her Own League. I rated this 5 freaking stars, and I'm not into like sports romance or nothing, but this was really good. It's a little bit of an age gap. It's like forbidden love because she's his boss. The cover is to die for, like hello. But it's basically following Reese and Monty. Someone said Monty's from a different series that she wrote. I think it's the Windy City series. Don't make me lie. I don't know. I didn't read it because that's not my type of thing. But this book was fire. So it follows Reese, who's the boss, and Monty, he works for the team. He's basically like the head coach. I forgot what they called him in the book. But their banter between each other, how he sticks up for her, like them falling for each other. This book was so good. Let me give you a quote. So Reese was going on a date with a different dude. This before they even like caught feelings for him. So Reese and Monty are texting. So she's telling him that she's on a date. He says, "Great. When is that over? Question mark. I'll be the one taking you home." He was not playing no games. He was not playing no games. And then another quote I loved was, "Emmett, you work for me." He hesitates for a moment, and there's no mistaking the conviction or desperation in his next words. "Fire me." That's all she wrote. That's all you need to know. Go read this book. It is so freaking good. Oh my goodness. So next we started to read another mafia romance series. This is the Monster Trilogy by Rena Kent. This was my introduction to Miss Rena, and she did not disappoint. I ate this series down. Okay? Down. Oh, this is dark mafia romance, if you're wondering. So this series follows Kirill and Sasha and basically how they get together. Sasha, her whole family got slaughtered. Like, slaughtered on Christmas Day. Crazy work. She's basically trying to find out who killed them, like who was behind the murder. She joins the military and turns into a man. And this series follows her journey. And then basically how she met Kirill and all that good stuff. The first book I did rate 4 stars just because it took a little bit to grasp everything. It was still a really good book, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't 5-star worthy. In this book, you meet Sasha and Kirill. We know she's a girl, but we meet her as a dude. And then she meets Kirill. He's like a hard-ranked officer or whatever in the military. There's this scene, I wish I marked it, but I didn't. Basically, there was a bunch of dude soldiers messing with Sasha. They didn't know she was a girl, but they were about to pull her pants down and find out. Kirill stepped in and then punched them after it, and that's our introduction to Kirill. We love him. But during this, halfway through, I don't want to give any spoilers away, so it's like, how do I explain this? So after that happens, she ends up joining Kirill's like special ops team. So on their first mission, things go left, and that's when their story starts. Book 2 is Lies of My Monster. In this book, she's still trying to uncover what happened to her family. So there's this scene, I yelped. I'm laughing thinking about it. I yelped when I read this scene. In this scene, they need something to distract Kirill. So Sasha decides it's a good idea to throw herself down the stairs. Let me read you this tomfoolery. There's even a text from Anna with a picture of the dining room that she decorated herself. Okay, desperate times, I guess. I run in Kirill's direction, then yelp, and throw myself down the stairs leading to the circular driveway. I roll down several flights and use my hands to protect my head. The thud is much stronger than I anticipated as I lie on my side at the bottom. Maxine run towards me. F Sasha, you okay? Like, girl, you could have thought of anything, but you decided to throw yourself down the stairs. It's another cute moment. So he didn't know when her birthday was, and it's the day after his, I believe. Yeah. So he reaches into his jacket and then grabs my hand and clasps a stainless steel bracelet on my wrist. How? I trailed off. I've had it since last year and was only going to give it to you when you told me your actual birthday. Have you been carrying it on you all this time? Maybe. Oh wow, I think my heart is going to melt at his feet as we speak. It has a rifle on it. I touched the engraved image and gasped at the writing in Russian. And Sasha. And then he says it's also unisex because she's still being a dude. It was so sweet. I rated this one 5 stars. I don't think I said that. This book, The Heart of My Monster, girl. This was 5 stars. This wrapped up everything beautifully, but I was not ready for the plot twist. Like, I audibly gasped. That crap sent me, oh my word. I do have a quote in here. Basically, everybody's convinced her that Kirill has killed her family. Okay, I'm not going to read that because it's going to kind of spoil it. But just know, I rated this one 5 stars. So this series is definitely going to be a part of my God tier series. This is really, 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 really freaking good. Rena. So next up is another Dark Mafia series. This is the Deception Trilogy by Rena Kent. This series took me through it. I have never been more confuzzled in my life. So the first one of this series is called Vow of Deception. I read the series in the wrong order. Apparently you're supposed to read this series and then the Monsters Trilogy, but this is following Adrian and his wife Leah. This series stressed me out. This first book I did rate 3 stars because of how confused I was. And I really thought Adrian was a psychopath. I really thought he was a psychopath. I'm not entirely wrong, but this first book is going to make you borderline hate him. Like, I low-key could not stand him. So basically, in this first book, it seems like he abducts a homeless person and makes them take his wife's place. Like, she died, and he made the homeless lady take his place. I really thought this man was insane, right? The homeless lady is Winter. We know her as Winter. So this book is following Winter and Adrian. Just gonna read you this blurb because I feel like it's the funniest thing I've ever read. His wife's name is Leah, right? And he calling her Leah because obviously she's supposed to be his wife now. So it says, Leah, he yells basically. And she says, I'm not Leah. I whisper as the darkness whisks me away. And then literally in the next chapter it starts, Leah's body fall limps in my arm. This man was like, your name is not Winter, your name is Leah. So basically this whole book she keeps saying I'm Winter. He's like, nah, I'm gonna keep calling you Leah. Like, he didn't care. This book I rated 4 stars. This is the second one. It's called Tempted by Deception. The plot twist of this made me want to read this. So the book, I'm not spoiling nothing, so I'm not gonna say too much. But this book follows Leah and Adrian, right? Right. This one kind of is like a backstory of them. The vow deception, we're kind of like tossed in the middle, very confused, don't know what's going on. The second one is telling like the backstory, so it's telling us how they met, how the relationship started, all that stuff, right? This is one of my favorite quotes. So it says, Leah says, just so you know, the prettiest roses have the deadliest thorns. He stands up. The motion isn't abrupt, but I sink in my chair, practically regretting what I said and partially proud of it. The proud part wins because I lift my chin. F him. If he thinks I'll just cower over because he tells me to, he'll be disappointed. He stands behind me, his sheer size towering over me like doom. You think that scares me? Okay, Mr. Sir. Last but not least, you have Consumed by Deception. This one I did rate 5 stars because it tied everything together and it ended beautifully. Like, this is how you want something to be wrapped up and ended. I didn't have no questions at the end of this book, and that's what you want. Give you a quote. I lied. I so lied. So, Consumed by Deception gives us their backstory. And then Tempted by Deception just gives us the, like, more of the present day. Catches us up, basically. There was a part. Where'd it go? Okay, so Leah says, I don't feel adorable. And then Adrian says, I'm sorry. She says, did he just apologize to me? I never thought that would happen in a million years. You're what? She says. I'm sorry for making you feel bad when I should have done the opposite. It was so sweet. So basically, then he's confessing his love, basically, for her, right? And then he says, I don't only need you, I also genuinely cannot live without you, and the light you bring to my darkness. I know you deserve better, but I'm unable to let you go. So I'll try my best to be worthy of you, Lenoka. Lenoka. Yeah, Lenoka, that's his nickname for her. A muscle tightens in his jaw, and the glassy sheen has covered his eyes by the time he finishes. He finally did it. He let go. So it did end beautifully. I love this series. It did make me very, 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 very confused at the beginning, but Rena wrapped it up perfectly, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And then the last book I read, unfortunately, was One Italian Summer. I didn't up this at 51%. I could not stand this book. I could not stand this book. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, I don't know, but I did not like it. At the beginning of the book, her mom has passed away. And before her mom passed away, it was from cancer. Katie and her mom had booked a trip to Italy because her mom was saying how she had spent a summer there in her youth. It was the most amazing thing ever. She really wanted her daughter to experience it. So basically, Katie then goes on the trip by herself and magically runs into her mom at 30 years old. That part threw me off because there was no time travel, there was no nothing. Just her mom popped up as a 30-year-old. What? Like, and I was at 51%. Like, it wasn't making any sense on why the mom, it was a 30-year-old version of her. But basically, the 30-year-old version was taking Katie around Italy. But I couldn't read it. I couldn't read it. She complained a lot to me in this book about her husband. She didn't know if she wanted to be with him no more. I really did not like it, and so I DNF'd it. But that's all the books I read in June and July. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, click the subscribe button below. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.